Hey guys, this is Persephone. This is our raid readiness and mandatory meeting video. So if you're watching this video, it means that you were unable to attend our raid meeting, which is this Saturday, October 1st. So this is my first video. Feels a little different, awkward, uncomfortable, because I'm talking to myself. So just bear with me. This video will likely only take 10-15 minutes of your time. I do really appreciate you tuning into this video. It says something about who you are and your commitment to raiding with us in Legion. So a few things that we want to cover, and this video will cover all the things that I will talk about in the meeting, so you're not going to be missing anything. And it's going to be a lot of me talking. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me or any of our officers. So we're going to look at our raid schedule. We're going to look at guild expectations and raid expectations and etiquette. What I'm about to say isn't rocket science, but it's common sense, but it's also important. The officers and I, we wanted to get together with everyone who's interested in raiding, so that way we can go over the expectations all at once, and we don't need to waste time at the beginning of every raid night going through expectations that everyone should be aware of. So it boils down to basically what you can expect from us and what we need to expect from you. We'll also talk about loot rules and our vision for what our raiding approach is going to look like in Legion. So our raid schedule, our first raid is October 8th, which is a Saturday. So raid nights will be Saturday, 3 hours in length, so 8, 9, 10, 11. We will have 2 5-minute breaks at the top of the hour, so one at 9 and then one at 10. Please limit your AFKs. Better yet, reserve your AFKs for when we have those scheduled breaks. So that way we can utilize every minute of raid time and we're not waiting for people to return. Okay, what you can expect from us. Raid night is dependable. Every Saturday we will be hosting a raid night. So that's a commitment that we have made, so you can depend upon that. The raid nights every Saturday will be posted on the calendar a week in advance, so that way you have lots of time to make preparations to be there. When I say dependable, I mean that it will rarely be canceled. The officers and I, we hate canceling anything because it sends the wrong message. And if I'm hosting something, I'm there. It doesn't matter if 2 people attend or 22 people attend, I will run that event. I hate canceling anything. So if it is canceled, then some sort of unforeseen circumstance happened or some sort of freak of nature happened. Other than that, you can plan on raiding with us every Saturday night. When something is on the calendar, to me, it's become a formalized event. And what that means is it carries a certain set of expectations. So whoever is hosting that event, I believe, is expected to be on time, dependable, prepared, organized. That person has done their homework. They have the right supportive and friendly temperament to host an event. And they're going to enforce guild rules and expectations. And so this is why only officers schedule events on the calendar, because these are the expectations I expect of myself and of our officers. So you can depend on us being on time and prepared and organized. We will have done our homework. We will have research the fights and we'll watch the videos. We're supportive, we're friendly, and we will enforce the guild rules and expectations because we want to make sure the event is enjoyable for everyone. Saven is our raid leader, and he will lead us to victory throughout our raid progression. In the event that he can't lead a Saturday night, then myself or another officer will lead the event. Like I said, it will rarely be canceled. Okay. What we expect from you? Well, they're the same expectations. So we want you to have the same commitment. We want you to be on time. We want you to be prepared. If you can provide your own flasks and feasts, that would be great. We will try to provide those for you, but it's the beginning of an expansion and things are very expensive right now. So if you can help us out, that would be greatly appreciated. Do your homework. Research the fights, watch the videos, review the logs, and be self-reflective. So always try to evaluate your own performance and look at ways in which you can improve. And one of the ways you can do that is by reviewing the recorded fights. I will be recording our raid encounters. I'll be posting those videos on our website. I'll be posting those videos on Facebook, and Oops will also be recording the fights and streaming them to Twitch. So you'll be able to see the encounters there as well. Okay. Attendance, be on time. Don't be late. Don't make a pattern of it. At the same time, we get it. Real life does interfere with rating. So if you are going to be late, please let us know. And everyone does a pretty good job in doing that. And we really appreciate that. It helps Saven, it helps all of us because we look at the roster, we see who's there, who's not going to be there, and we can make preparations. So if you do plan on attending, please sign up so we know who we have. If you're uncertain, then put yourself on tentative so that way we're not necessarily waiting for you. Okay, and don't no-show unless you've told us ahead of time that you can't make it. With respect to vent, please keep vent clear and open for raid instructions. No off-topic chatter during raid encounters. It makes it difficult to communicate. And this goes without saying, but there should be no sexual, racist, or degrading comments, no profanity, no swearing, no raging. So if you're going to do any of that, please do that off vent. The loot rules. It will be Master Looter for this raid expansion. And in order to maintain Master Looter, 80% of our raid composition has to be guildies. So we need to be mindful of that. If we don't have 80%, then Blizz automatically sets the default to personal loot. So we won't have access to Master Looter. So that is something that we have to keep in mind, and we always need to maintain that raid composition. As always, the loot will be posted. The role order will be need, then off-spec, then transmog, and then if absolutely no one can use the item, then it's DE'd, and those mats go into the guild bank. Just like our loot rules for Draenor, you will have unlimited off-spec wins and unlimited transmog wins. The only limitation is on the need win. Now, back in Draenor, the rule was once you've won a need win, then you had to wait till off-spec. So you've won your piece for the night. And we did that because we wanted to distribute the loot fairly. We didn't want one person walking away with all the loot. But some of you gave us feedback and you said, you know, we get it. You're trying to do the right thing here, but when a circumstance arises in which a piece of gear drops and it's a non-tier piece, let's just say it's a ring, and you really want it, but you don't want to waste your need win. So if you end up winning that non-tier piece of gear, then you're not eligible to need roll on a tier gear. So you're right. So what we've done is you will have 2 need wins for the night. You'll have 1 need win for non-tier gear, and you'll have 1 need win for tier gear. So that way you have the best of both worlds. And once you've won your 2 need wins, then you have to wait until off spec to win something again. The other requirement is that only guildies are allowed to need roll on tier gear. If no guildie needs the item, then the item will go to off spec, and at which point guildies and non-guildies alike can roll on that item. Okay. There was concern in Draenor that our guests were getting tier gear, and is that fair? So we decided to listen to your feedback and modify the loot rules a bit to best accommodate the needs of our guild. Also, if a rare mount drops, doesn't matter what you've already won, you are still eligible to need roll on that mount drop. Also, loot rules reset after each raiding evening. So just because you won a piece last Saturday doesn't mean you're not eligible to roll for the following Saturday. You are. Loot rules reset. Even if perhaps later on in the expansion we decide to have 2 raid nights. So just because you won something on Friday doesn't mean you can't win something on Saturday. So Saturday is a new day. It's a new raid. So all the loot rules reset. Okay, our raiding vision. So we are casual raid days. So we are a casual raiding guild. And what that means is we don't raid 5 days a week for 3 hours each night. We don't ask people to quit their jobs so we can be the first guild to clear Emerald Nightmare. We also don't rudely point fingers or place blame or rage. We have a casual approach to raiding in that it's a respectful one, but we have a very serious commitment to each other. And it basically boils down to respecting the person behind the tune. That, to me, I believe is the recipe for a guild's longevity. If it's all about what you can give us, what you can offer us, you know, bring your uber mage because that's all that we value you for, that's not going to promote the longevity of a guild. The people have to come first. And so we have always prioritized the person behind the tune. So we raid once a week. And we raid for 3 hours. And so that does mean on raid night, we need to be ready. And part of being ready is not only making a commitment to yourself, but also to your teammates. Respect the privilege of being a part of a team. So bring your A game and let's do the best that we can with the one night that we have, with the 3 hours that we have. If redirection is needed, you know, if someone is standing in the bad or not doing what they need to be doing, well, then it's approached in a friendly, supportive way. Sure, we'll call you on it, but it's not going to be in a way that's going to make you feel terrible. And we'll call on anyone. You know, if I'm standing in the bad, Saban is going to say, Persef, you're standing in the bad. You got to move, right? Absolutely. So if If we strengthen our individual performance, then it's going to strengthen the raid. Okay. Now again, just because we're casual doesn't mean that we don't have raid expectations. Expectations are important and they're necessary. So they not only unite us as a raid team working towards the same goal, which is downing bosses, but it also promotes the betterment of our game. It discourages atrophy. So we need those expectations at the very least, because Blizz has written mechanics for these fights in which a bare minimum expectations are needed. And we don't discriminate. We try to include everyone, but the reality is that there are enrage timers, and in order for us to reasonably progress, these are the expectations that we need. And here they are. So for Emerald Nightmare, again, as I've already talked about, be on time, be prepared, do your homework, be respectful of people's time. So if we do wipe, then release. Let's release, regroup, let's get back in there, rebuff, and try to reduce the downtime in between wipes, and again, try to reduce the AFKs. Our item level needs to be 840, and our DPS and heals, the magic number is 150. So around 150k is what we need. And again, that's the magic number that's going to allow us to avoid those enrage timers. Also, we expect you to have gems and enchants, but starter Legion gems and enchants are acceptable. We know they're expensive right now. It's the beginning of an expansion. So starter gems and enchants are acceptable. Now, as we progress through our raid progression, naturally we're going to need the best. The better geared we are individually, the better we'll be as a team. But for now, the starter gems and enchants are acceptable. And we also need you to have your 3 relics equipped on your weapon. With respect to add-ons, you need DBM or something that's equivalent. So if you run SCADA, that's fine. GTFO and Vent is an absolute must. We need to communicate. And also be aware that the expectations will be progressive. So as we move along through Emerald Nightmare, the encounters are going to become more difficult. So our expectations are going to have to increase. And that just, I believe, is sensible. It just makes sense. So when that happens, we will let you know. And so that way you'll have a week to prepare to make sure that you meet those expectations for the following Saturday. If you're not raid ready, don't despair. Again, we're not the kind of guild that's going to tell you to drop out a raid and you suck. That's not what we're about. We're here to help. So we're willing to make the commitment if you are too. So if you're not pulling that 150 magic number and we have to ask you to drop from raid, please don't take it personally. Like I said, it's just about numbers. That means next week, sign up for LFR, sign up for Heroic, sign up for Mythics. We'll run you through those dungeons. We'll help you with your rotation. We'll help you with your gems and enchants. We're here to help. That's part of our job. So I don't want anyone to feel left out. We want to include everyone. But we need those expectations in order to make it happen. Lastly, please consult the website often. I update it every week. I add something or change something every week. There is a lot of information on the website. It clearly outlines what we expect of you and also all that we offer. And again, all of our raid progression videos are on the website, so it's a good resource. And even if you don't have Facebook, the website has a Facebook link in that you can see all the posts that everyone has posted in Facebook. So that way you're never left out. So that's it. Again, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you soon.